Kia ora, it's Ruth here and welcome to my backyard in Christchurch. Now I hadn't actually planned to do an update this afternoon. I was at work and it was raining and I got a text saying that it was hailing in Spraydon. Looked out the window, I was like, oh yeah, not really much. Came home, oh my goodness, look at the ground. We have definitely had hail. So this is everywhere. But everything looks pretty okay. The chickens looked a little bit less than impressed. They were like, what's going on? Because we haven't had actually a good hail yet. Quite icy too down here. Over here. Hey girls! The chickens are yet to learn that when it's hailing or raining, it's a good idea to go into shelter. They do enjoy hanging out in the rain and the hail. So I'll do this part of the update, which is just showing you around the other part of the garden that I haven't actually shown much of. And it's kind of the work in progress, haven't really been focusing on area, which is all kind of this section, then all the way around to there. Now one thing I really like is buxus hedges, and so the property already came with some, so what we've done is we've filled some gaps and we've added some more. Now you would have seen, if you'd seen some of my past videos, that I have recently cut off a whole lot of my buxus when I trimmed them, put them in to propagate. What happened was the birds got into it. I've propagated buxus before, never before has it happened, but while we were away one weekend, got back and found them just everywhere on the ground, and the birds, I don't know, had decided that there was worms or something underneath, pulled them all out. I chucked them all back in, but it was too late, so I don't have any from this season, but I can take you to where one from another season is, and it's right down here in the nice light. So these are the ones that are already here, and there was just a few gaps in between where the buxuses were. So this is one that's probably about 2 years old now, with the other ones, and more hail. And so buxus hedges can be really expensive if you buy them big, but if you've already got some, propagating them, providing birds don't get to them, is really easy. It just takes a long time. Or finding the really small grades. If you've got time, it will take probably 3 to 5 years to establish and get big, but it's $1 compared to like $25 a plant. So definitely my recommendation. And here is just a bit of a dead space. Eventually, when we have kids, we'd like to turn it into like tree hut play area, but so for now it's kind of left like that. We've just added in here some orchid irises that will hopefully fill up this gap quite nicely. Everything's looking quite dead in the winter, but that's okay. We've recently pulled back all this tree. Over here it used to all pull back out, and we kind of got to that point where we're like, it's our own house, we actually should do something about it. So cut it all back and it lets in so much more light. And down here is another section where we've added some buxus. So you can see here is the main ones, and these ones will all grow up to be around the same size. We can come around here too. And the whole front of this garden we've done it too. Now it's really interesting. These ones here are all kind of look autumn colours compared to the green ones. I need to look into it more, but we've got a big lancewood here. My thinking is that the lancewood is probably sucking up the nutrients from those, so I do need to think about how I can make sure those buxuses grow well and stay greener so that we get a full buxus hedge all around. Now here, this will look good in a couple of months. There are a few bulbs that are popping through, which look really exciting. These will probably be daffodils. Got a few pollies that definitely look worse for after all the hail. A few other ones that are flowering, some irises and hebes at the back, and my wonderful persimmon tree, which has nothing on, but I love it. So this is kind of just a section here. So what's going to be happening is I'm going to try fill it up more this summer, but during winter it never looks that flash. And I'll take you around here to see the worm farm and our previous compost. So the worm farm, I've got a bit of cardboard on at the moment, which hail all on the top. We'll push that all off. So the cardboard on the top I just have so that the worms have a little bit more warmth, and they are all down here. So you can see a couple. It's great having the worm farm. It's a really nice way to get rid of greens. And then you can also see some egg cartons because that gives them the carbon that they need. Worm farms, the way you kind of work them is quite the same as compost, and they just work their way through it. This one here has got 2 layers. So this layer here is where all the worm castings already are. This one here is where they're making the worm castings. And then out of here I can get the worm tea, which is just what the water has run through. If I want to make really good worm casting, I need to mix all of this in some water. But let's just get my handy dandy peg and just have a look at the worms. Yeah, all looking quite good and healthy at the moment, which is great. It's amazing seeing where all the hail's settled. So in here, this is our compost bin that we're trying not to use. Every now and then there's more stuff that goes on top. As you can see, it's going a bit yuck and mouldy. But when we did stop using it, it was right to the top, and as it's composted, it's gone down more and more. And what I have here is what I talked about in another video. This is what I got from Bunnings. It is a Compost Turner, and it's really great because literally you just twirl it in, then you can pull it up and it moves some of the compost from the different layers, which helps the other layers compost, and it also aerates it, which is something else I've really been learning, is compost shouldn't be a big smelly mess. It needs to have air as part of it, and this really helps. It was, I think, $20, not much more if it was, from Bunnings. I'm sure you can get it from Mitre 10 or anywhere else. Really good. So I'll show you getting into it now. And it's great in there. Don't know if you can see it, but there are lots of little wormies, which is fantastic. It's great seeing worms in the compost because I know I'm doing a good thing. The worms are there, and all this compost will be ready soon that I can be able to put it in the garden before spring comes and then go. So this compost here is kind of grass clippings, garden waste, shredded trees, and chicken manure, and the sawdust from, or the wood shavings from where they sleep at night. So it's got a good mix of all the different layers. And hail on the top. That's that section of the garden. We have got new glass for the glass house door, which is really exciting. And so this weekend that glass house door will go on, and I'll be able to christen the glass house by planting some seeds, which I know it is early to plant seeds. It is, well, it's the end of July. Really shouldn't be starting until end of August, maybe September. But I have decided that, as you may have heard, I love experimenting. And so here you go, here's the glass, just hopefully safely against here. I love experimenting, and so this year will be my experimenting year, and then I'll know next year, have more of an idea of how much warmer this glass house keeps everything, and then I'll know, oh, it's too early, or I can start things a bit earlier. So thank you for watching that part of the garden tour. Next time we'll be putting the door on the glass house and getting some seeds started as early ones, and I'm getting excited about spring coming already. So ka kite, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and thank you so much for watching to the end. See ya!